Hi my dear friends, this is Dmitro, your English tutor. In this lesson, let's practice a couple of questions from Duolingo Read Then Speak. This is a common, famous type of question where we read the question itself, then we have some time to think about it, and then we must speak for some time. For example, at IELTS Speaking, Part 2, we have a similar card, and we have about 1 minute to prepare if we wish, and up to 2 minutes to speak. And it really makes sense to speak for 2 minutes, not less. At Duolingo, we have this so-called card. We have 20 seconds to gather our thoughts, and then 90 seconds to speak. And again, please try to speak for 90 seconds, not 80, not 70. If you speak for 70 instead of 90, you lose points. This is 1000%. Okay, what will we do? Like now, I will produce some spontaneous answer. I'm not a native speaker. I have the same problems as you have. You try to listen to me and simultaneously think about what you would say here. It's very important. Of course, before and after my speaking, I will give you a couple of tips, a couple of hints. So I think 2 or 3 most important tips are. So number 1, you remember I told you like speak for the maximum duration, for maximum time, 90 seconds, not less. Okay, so it's better when you have started a sentence and then the computer interrupts you because the time is over. It's very nice. It means that you are full of enthusiasm to disclose all your like speaking potential. Yes, but you're interrupted. It's okay, no problem. It's much better than speaking for 60 or 70 seconds. Mega important aspect number 2. Try to avoid pauses. Pauses or stops in your speech. You know, I think there are 2 different types of those pauses. The first one is natural. When you're speaking well, for example for 30 seconds, and then you're going to start a new thread of your narration. And you take a breath, and at the same time, within like 1 second, you refresh your mind. Like, it's okay. It's natural. So our speaking must resemble that of educated native speakers during calm, intelligent, polite conversation. But there is a second type of pauses, which is unexpected and undesirable pause. When, for example, a candidate has started a sentence and suddenly in the middle of the sentence they realize that they forgot a word or a phrase, or lost a thought. They have lost a thought and they don't know how to continue. They get nervous, agitated, and there is a gap in their speech for about 1, 2, 3 seconds or more. It's not good, You will be penalized for that. You will lose some points. Yes, and you understand that if you make 5 such pauses in your speech, it's not very good at all. Okay. So these points, bullet points, are very precious gifts, in my opinion. Some guys maybe don't like them because they make you, they force you to speak about something. But one of the greatest problems for the guys is that they don't know what ideas to produce. So we are presented ideas here. We don't have to invent a bicycle, reinvent, everything is planned for us. So why not speak about it? If you forget to reveal, to describe this one, no problem. I think you will not lose many points. If instead of this point you speak about something else, it's okay, because they are recommended points. Okay. And crucial tip, crucial tip number 4. I always speak about it if you watch my channel. One of the greatest problems for guys is that if they're given some question, they try to answer the question thinking not so much about the language as about the contents of the answer. It's wrong. Nobody in the world, let alone this algorithm of Duolingo, is interested in your outlook, your philosophy, the truth of your life, all that jazz. Nobody. So you're welcome. Please create, invent. If you prefer such terms as cheat, lie, anything. Nobody. For example, if here we have explain the process for getting a driver's license for the first time. Yeah. Even if you don't have a driver's license and you don't know you haven't discussed it with anybody, what documents, what the procedure, please create this procedure in your mind. Create a governmental body, police department, like for this, that we go there and we fill in some form, and then they take your fingerprints, something like that. They photograph you, they take. It's okay if algorithm doesn't care. Don't, please, never sit and make pauses in your speech and try to recollect it, or don't be worried that so substitute some facts with other facts. It's no problem, absolutely. If you develop this skill, as politicians have, they can speak about everything and nothing at the same time. So this is the skill which will guarantee your success at speaking at any test of English. Okay, so these 4 points, mega important points. Okay, now let's answer this question. You listen to my answer. It will be spontaneous, it will not be ideal, and I don't care. I'm sure that I will speak for 120, 30, 140 at Duolingo, and it's more than enough. And you please think what you would speak here. Okay, I forgot to say, please, it's better to be fast, of course. Your fluency, the speed of your production is important, of course. It's better to be fast than to be slow. So, explain the process for getting a driver's license for the first time. Where do you go to apply for a license? What exams are involved? What documents are required? Okay, I don't remember actually what documents are required. I remember some of the documents. Exams, of course, I remember well. 2 types of exams. And where do you go? You can go to a driving school, yes, or maybe to a police department who deal with this. They will recommend you, they will direct you to go here or there. You see, I can speak this, I can speak that, no problem. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go. I actually have a driver's license, but I don't remember well where to go, when to go, and something like that. But from time to time we discuss this question with my friends, and usually, as far as I know, we go to a specialized driving school or driving courses. They know everything about the procedure, so they will advise you. They have a standard list of documents, and then you fill out some form there, maybe pay some money, prepayment, and then you are enrolled into some group of students. Usually those groups include 10 or 15 students. So in most countries, as I know, the process is divided into 2 fields, 2 realms. The first one is a theoretical one, where you study the theory, rules, regulations, hazards, and everything. And the second one is practical, where you actually drive, where you steer the vehicle. And of course, they complement each other, which is very nice. So, speaking about the exams correspond to those 2 realms. There is a theoretical exam, where we have usually multiple choice questions on the computer. You must know how many kilograms can be loaded on this type of a vehicle, and where you can cross the street, not cross the street, like fasten the belt or not fasten the belt, all that jazz, And then if you take and pass actually this exam successfully, then you're allowed to take the second one, the practice test, where you steer your vehicle with your instructor and probably with the guy from the police. And if cars may be manual transmission or automatic transmission, depending on what type of vehicle you want to study on. I have always loved manual transmission. So they assess how well you switch the gears, at the same time how you steer. If you have automatic one, probably it's a bit simpler, but anyway, everybody experiences this agitation and excitement. If you make no mistakes, 0 mistakes, of course, you have passed the test and you will be congratulated and issued your driving license. If you have problems, not a big deal. You're welcome to retake the test. Some guys retake it for like 4 or 5 times. Of course, they're not so happy about this, but it's life, so no problems. Documents, speaking about documents for getting your license, I don't remember all of them, of course, but some of the most important are, from my perspective, those certificates from some doctors. For example, from a psychologist, psychiatrist, or drug specialist, because we understand that if a driver is intoxicated, he may present a huge trouble for the people around him and for themselves. So, of course, we understand some and eyesight also, of course, is checked, because if a driver cannot see well, where would he drive? Anyway, it's a nonsense. So, that is the process the whole process as far as I remember it. So you see, my friends, I have spoken probably more than 90 seconds. It's not a problem. I didn't even look at the timer. I know that the computer will stop me when required, so I don't care. Of course, if you can wind up just ideally at the second number 89, yeah, it's perfect, but okay, think about, please, think about like how you would answer this question. Would you speak a little bit like similarly to me, or you would have your own strategy, your own approach, your own ideas, your own length of sentences? Play with it a little. If you like some of my phrases, you're welcome to listen again to my answer and maybe borrow some phrases. Remember, nobody is perfect and it's not necessary. You don't have to get 160 for your Duolingo speaking. It's absurd. Why? You would like for your ego, yeah, but I don't see any other reason. So that's why you can easily train with the tutor to speak for 110, 120, 130. If you have some problems, if you need help, please write to me. I always place my contact details in the video and below the video. I have helped several hundreds of guys within these last 5 years to ace the Duolingo English test from many countries of the world, maybe 10 or 15 countries of the world. Okay, my friends, let's take one more. Let's read, please. Discuss restrictions on water usage. Water usage, this question differs dramatically, yeah, from the previous one. The previous one was from our, let's say, routine, everyday life. Driving, license. This one is purely a philosophical one, because if you live in a developed country and you have never experienced any restrictions on water, you may be puzzled and think, oh my god, what kind of restrictions? Yeah, we always have plenty of water in our faucet, and yeah, so remember, I tell you, it's not a verity or truth test or factual test. It's a language test. So we have 20 seconds to understand it and to conjure some kind of a response. If you live in some maybe like African countries or in some Asian countries, probably there some problems with water are common occasion with you, so then you know what to speak about. Why might restrictions on water usage be imposed? Like to put some restriction on some people, to introduce it, to force them to use water in a limited amount. What are some of the effects of the restrictions? Effects here, like results. What are some of the results, ramifications of the restrictions? Will there be more water restrictions in the future? Or why or why not? You see, they go together. Remember, guys, it makes no difference for the algorithm if you speak about yes, there will be more restrictions, or no, people will have no restrictions whatsoever in the future. So we are absolutely free, and this freedom sometimes poses difficulty to guys who are used to producing honest answers to all types of questions. But this type of question is not your soul mindful question. No, it's just to make you speak about something. Our main goal is how to speak. Our main concern is how to speak, not what to speak. Okay, so let's speak about it. Actually, I will murmur something, and then you will think about how much you would give me, and also think about what you would present here. Okay. Restrictions when we use water in a limited way. Yeah, when there is not enough water. Restrict. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go. I'm not a great specialist in water usage, but I think globally there are several types of water restrictions. Maybe the most common of them is predetermined geographically. If people live in some hot countries with extremely hot summers, of course there are droughts, and that's why often those water authorities don't have enough facilities to process water, to provide drinking water to people, and the government asks the population to use water moderately. I know for sure that in America, in California, sometimes there are droughts in summer, and the government even fines those rich families who put fountains and pools in the yards and use huge amounts of drinking water, but they don't care because they pay those fines and continue doing what they're doing. Yeah, if you speak about Africa or Asian countries, of course, probably there are some problems there with clean water, and it's just geography. It's no policy, I think, no politics involved. It's just geography. So people will learn how to deal with it in the future, for sure. The effects are that, as always, rich people, usually they feel well, they feel good because, you know, they can buy everything, whereas people who are not so affluent, they have problems. Yes, God forbid, they just sometimes they don't have enough water to drink, which is bad, of course, very detrimental to health and to the economy and to the spirit of people. In the future, I'm sure that the humanity will learn how to process salty water from the oceans, and that's why therefore make it drinking water. And given that there are trillions of, maybe quadrillions of tons of water in the oceans, the humanity will not experience any scarcity of drinking water anymore. Probably conduits or some canals will be dug from one country to another, pipelines set, and of course through those frameworks, everybody, every nook of the world will have sufficient amount of water to drink and to wash and to clean and everything. Sanitation, of course, is one of those crucial aspects for well-being of a person. If the population is deprived of the proper sanitation, of course people will not live long, because microbes, bacteria, everything, those infections, it's a great problem. But I'm sure the humanity will deal with it. They will tackle the problem. Okay, guys, so I have spoken, I don't remember, maybe 2 minutes with something, but it's not a big deal again. I have thought along my way, you know. I didn't have any plan, but you see, once and again I look into the points, they help me to start a new thread. If I look at the timer and see that I have answered like these 2 questions and I have 20 seconds left, of course it's time to switch to this one. So I say, okay, yeah, and speaking about the future, yeah, so you can cut yourself short and proceed to a new one, because it's speaking, it's not writing, it's okay. We must resemble educated native speakers, and they are not robots. They speak sometimes semi-spontaneously. You know, we are not ideal, and there is a beauty of all of this in such aspects, and I actually love this. Okay, my friends, I have, by the way, a great self-learning, like self-education course, video course, DET with Flying Colors. It entails 81 video lessons, about 50 minutes each, for your independent preparation for Duolingo. If you're interested, please, you're welcome to write to me. I will answer, and you can purchase the course. If you need serious assistance in your Duolingo progress, then please write to me again, and we will schedule several lessons and I will help you. Okay guys, I love you, wish you success at Duolingo, and see you in our next lesson.